On the basis of the weight of evidence of our result, aspartame should be considered a multiple-site, trans-species carcinogenic agent in rodents. A re-evaluation of the current regulation of aspartame remains, in our opinion, urgent.
What we see is that with increasing consumption of sugar-sweetened carbonated soft drinks, there was absolutely no increase in risk of preterm delivery. But when we looked at artificially sweetened carbonated soft drinks, there was a dose response increase in risk of preterm delivery, where women consuming 1 serving and up to 4 servings per day compared to those who did not consume this type of products had an increased risk of between 30% to 80%.
Our conclusions on these 2 studies. First of all, on the study by Dr. Safriti and al. It's a carcinogenicity study in Swiss mice exposed to aspartame. We concluded that the validity of the study could not be assessed based on the information available. Some conclusion on the Hal Dawson and al. Study. It's an exploratory study. It's the first study, and it's to explore, really. It cannot establish a cause-effect relationship, and further studies are needed to confirm or reject the findings.
And I've concluded that exposure to methanol at the levels found in the diet and from aspartame will not result in adverse effects. So the conclusions reached by the authors of the 2 studies are really not supported by a biologically plausible mechanism. The use of high dose in animal studies ensures that some hazard will be identified, but it's the precautionary approach that is used by regulatory bodies to set the ADI, which ensures there is negligible risk at human intakes.
Informing consumers is, of course, very important. As with all other food additives, aspartame has to be labelled. It must be labelled either by name or by its E number, which is E951. In fact, labelling of sweeteners is doubly labelled in the EU at the moment.
If extra studies, it is true, are necessary, then EFSA should allow full access to the studies on which the ADI was based and should recalculate the ADI, which is 30 years old now, and on the basis of scientific advances and current rules on risk assessment. EFSA must issue recommendations for consumption for young children and pregnant women and shoulder its responsibility to protect the health of Europeans and advise them on their health.
So about the safety, we can conclude that we as a consumer organization want that each additive, that the safety of use of those additives in our plate are guaranteed. And we are very concerned also about the combination of additives, because we don't eat one additive at a time. Like for aspartame, it's often combined with acesulfame K in soft drinks. So we should like that the cocktail effect of those additives is more broadly studied than it is now.
At this stage, as of today, we do not see a need for immediate regulatory action. The statement of EFSA does not include scientifically based concerns on the safety, and at this stage, we cannot take any preventive measure.
The consumers don't have any information about the data we're talking about now, so we need to think about how we can inform consumers about the ADI and whether it's valid to set at that rate, and we should also inform them that we do have some doubts in the case of pregnant women. I think the least we can do is to inform these people of the doubts that exist.
To me, the main question is who is going to take the responsibility if something is going wrong. So we heard what is the opinion of EFSA, and I'm really very much concerned that still we keep kind of approach which is dividing between public health concerns and food safety.